My girlfriend broke up with me saying she needed to work on herself and wasn't ready for anything serious, but 4 months later, she completely lost her mind when I told her I was getting married. I'm Andrew, 26, and Lindsay's breakup speech was Oscar-worthy. We were at my apartment, and she'd made this whole production out of it. Lit candles, ordered my favorite takeout, the works. I actually thought she was going to propose. Instead, she sat me down and delivered this monologue about needing space to discover her artistic soul, and how relationships were suffocating her creative energy. She'd been taking these pottery classes and suddenly thought she was the next big thing. I can't be authentic to my art while I'm emotionally dependent on someone else, she said, like she was reading from a self-help book. I need to learn who I am outside of romantic relationships. Lindsay had never paid for a single pottery class. I'd been covering them, along with her half of rent, groceries, and basically every date we'd been on for 8 months. Her artistic journey was funded entirely by my engineering salary. But fine, I helped her move out, wished her luck, and figured I'd dodged a bullet. My wallet certainly felt lighter without constantly covering her expenses. 2 weeks later, I'm swiping through dating apps when I match with Riley. She's a veterinarian, which already puts her miles ahead of Lindsay in the having actual career goals department. Our first message exchange was her asking if I wanted to split the check on our coffee date. I nearly cried tears of joy. Riley was everything Lindsay wasn't. She paid her own bills, had her own car that wasn't constantly breaking down, and never once asked me to invest in her dreams while contributing absolutely nothing to our shared expenses. She was funny, driven, and treated dating like we were equals rather than like I was her personal patron of the arts. We clicked immediately, like scary immediately. First date turned into a 6-hour conversation. Second date, she cooked dinner at her place, a real dinner with vegetables and everything, not microwave ramen with creative seasonings like Lindsay used to make. By month 2, we were spending every weekend together. By month 3, Riley did something that floored me. She proposed. Not with a ring or anything dramatic, just casually mentioned over breakfast that she'd never been happier and asked if I wanted to make it official. I said yes so fast I nearly choked on my coffee. We decided on a courthouse wedding the following Friday. Small, simple, just us and 2 witnesses. Riley's idea. She said she'd rather spend money on a honeymoon than throw a party for people we barely see. Meanwhile, Lindsay's Instagram told a different story. Her artistic journey consisted of posting photos of increasingly lopsided bowls with captions about finding her authentic voice through clay. She'd sold exactly 0 pieces, but had somehow convinced her parents to fund a studio apartment in the arts district. When I posted our engagement announcement, my phone exploded. Lindsay sent a novel-length text about how sudden everything seemed and whether I was rebounding from our deep connection. She followed it up with calls I didn't answer and Instagram DMs I didn't open. Then came the wedding day text. I made a huge mistake. Can we meet? I showed Riley, who just laughed. Tell her congratulations, you're getting married in 3 hours. So I did. Can't talk. Getting married today. Good luck with the pottery. What happened next was beautiful chaos. Lindsay showed up at the courthouse in a wedding dress. Not just any wedding dress. The specific one she'd been saving for when she found the right person that she'd shown me photos of during our relationship. She burst through the doors right as the judge was asking for objections, screaming about how I was making the biggest mistake of my life and how she was ready now to commit. Security removed her while she clutched a ceramic bowl, apparently her offering to prove she'd changed. It was crooked and had a hole in the bottom. Riley, my brand new wife, turned to me and said, "Well, that was entertaining. Should we get pizza?" Lindsay's parents cut off her funding after the courthouse incident. Last I heard, she was back living at home, working at a coffee shop, and telling anyone who'd listen about her almost marriage to an engineer who couldn't handle her artistic passion. Riley and I just bought our first house. Turns out when you're not constantly financing someone else's delusions, you can actually save money. Who knew?